What if everything you thought you knew about Venus was a lie? You've always heard the same story. Venus is a dead planet. It's nothing more than a toxic hellscape. Choking clouds of sulfuric acid, surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead, and an atmosphere so dense it would crush a spacecraft in minutes. It's been written off as Earth's evil twin, a cautionary tale about what happens when greenhouse gases spiral out of control. But what if that wasn't the full truth? What if, hidden beneath that thick yellow haze, Venus was hiding something that challenges every assumption we've made about our solar system? It began with a telescope. Not just any telescope, but the most advanced space observatory humanity has ever created, the James Webb Space Telescope. Built to look back in time, to peer into the earliest moments of the universe, to analyze alien atmospheres light years away, and to unlock cosmic secrets we've only dreamed of. But early on, before it focused on distant galaxies or far-off exoplanets, Webb turned its powerful eye a little closer to Venus. No one expected much. Venus has been studied before. We thought we had it figured out. But the James Webb Telescope didn't just see clouds and heat. It saw something else, something no one could explain. And that's when things started to get strange. The initial data seemed normal: chemical readings, thermal imaging, atmospheric structure. But buried in the information were patterns that didn't match what we'd seen before. Slight, at first, barely noticeable, but enough to raise eyebrows. There were spectral readings, tiny shifts in energy signatures, that didn't belong. At first, it was chalked up to noise, maybe a sensor calibration issue. But the anomalies kept appearing, again and again. Then came the whispers. A few researchers, working closely with the Webb data, started to leak concerns. Privately, they talked about something artificial, something structured. Readings that suggested form and regularity in places where there should be only chaos. They said it looked like symmetry, geometric alignment where random geology should reign. And then, it all stopped. No more updates, no announcements. The planned follow-up observations of Venus, quietly canceled. NASA's public statements became vague. They claimed it was a matter of scheduling, that Webb's time was better spent studying galaxies and exoplanets. They used phrases like resource allocation and mission priority. But behind those words, there was silence. And that silence was loud. For a while, the story faded. But then came leaks, anonymous sources from inside NASA or contractors close to the project. They said the Venus data had been pulled from public access, that internal discussions were classified, that scientists had been told to stop asking questions. One source said that what James Webb found couldn't be released due to implications. Implications of what? It wasn't the first time something like this had happened. Back in the 1970s, the Pioneer Venus mission detected strange, low-frequency radio waves from the planet's atmosphere. The signals repeated, almost like a heartbeat. Scientists proposed various theories, but none fit. Eventually, the story was buried, explained away as interference, but the signals never stopped. The Venera landers sent by the Soviet Union returned data just before being destroyed by the pressure. Some of their final images showed formations on the surface, formations with angles, lines, and patterns that didn't quite look natural. That data, too, was buried under bureaucracy and scientific doubt. Now, with Webb's far more advanced instruments, the mystery is reappearing. But this time, it's more than a mystery. It's a threat. A threat not of danger, but of revelation. Because if something unnatural is hiding on Venus, if Webb's infrared imaging saw something built, something structured, something emitting signals, then everything changes. The cover-up, if it's real, isn't just about Venus. It's about our place in the universe. Because finding artificial structures or technology on another planet doesn't just mean we aren't alone. It means intelligence, perhaps even civilization, has existed beyond Earth. It means we might be the newcomers. And that truth, that kind of truth, has consequences. Imagine what it would mean to governments, to religions, to science, to power. If it's proven that another intelligence once lived on Venus, however long ago, it would upend everything. The science community would be forced to rewrite decades of theory. Political systems would face questions they can't answer. Religions would be challenged in ways they've never faced before. And public panic? That would be a real possibility. So maybe, just maybe, they're keeping it secret not because they're evil, but because they're scared. Scared of what happens and then the truth gets out. Scared of losing control. Scared of the questions that follow. Still, there are some who aren't content with silence. A researcher from an affiliated institution came forward anonymously, claiming the spectral signature Webb detected didn't match any known chemical or thermal process. It pulsed, repeated, moved. Another expert suggested that what Webb saw wasn't just light bouncing off clouds, it was light generated, emitted. Like something alive, or something powered. But again, no official word. The discussion is steered away, redirected, silenced. Technical reports have vanished. Internal documents are locked behind red tape. And anyone who talks too much is labeled a conspiracy theorist. So what exactly did James Webb see on Venus? We may not know. Not yet. But we can imagine. A signal hidden in the clouds. An ancient structure. Maybe just a fragment beneath the molten surface. Something that emits heat and light at regular intervals. Something symmetrical. Something that doesn't fit with volcanic rock or atmospheric storms. A geometry that suggests design. Some say it could be a power station. Others whisper of an ancient beacon. Theories range from long-lost alien visitors to a pre-human civilization that fled Earth. Wild ideas, sure, but not as wild as what's already been proven. We've found organic molecules on Mars, subsurface oceans on Europa, methane plumes on Enceladus, and phosphine on Venus, possibly a sign of microbial life. So the idea that Venus once supported something more complex? It's not as far-fetched as it used to be. What matters now is what we do with this mystery. Because James Webb is still out there, still scanning, still collecting data, and while NASA might try to control the narrative, they can't stop the truth forever. Not when private researchers, independent observatories, and international agencies are watching. Not when the public is asking questions. And you should keep asking questions. Because the truth doesn't disappear. It waits. It hides behind layers of silence. It lingers in files marked classified, but eventually it slips through the cracks. So stay curious. Stay skeptical. Don't just accept what you're told. Look deeper. What if that glow beneath Venus's clouds isn't just volcanic activity? What if that pulse isn't just atmospheric turbulence? What if James Webb caught something in the act, and NASA just wasn't ready for the world to see? We might never get the official answer. But we don't need permission to seek it. The universe is too vast, too mysterious, to be filtered through press releases. The truth is out there, maybe on Venus, maybe somewhere else. But it's out there. And it's waiting. So don't stop looking. Don't stop asking. Because whatever's hidden beneath the clouds of Venus might just be the biggest discovery in human history. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what they're afraid of.